I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, that I can go campaign on and say we did.
That's Republican Chip Roy of Texas. Of course, one thing Republicans promised to do is something about the border. Nothing has changed on the border. If anything, the problem keeps getting worse, and while Texas keeps putting up barbed wire, illegal immigrants still reach the American side of the Rio Grande. At that point, the Border Patrol is legally required to cut the barbed wire and let them in. Now Texas wants to allow its own police officers to enforce the border. Governor Abbott will soon sign SB 4. It makes it a criminal offense to enter the Texas border illegally along the southern border, punishable by 6 months in jail. Any law enforcement officer in Texas can arrest an illegal crosser, and the judge then can issue a removal order to send them back to Mexico. Back with the panel, Lauren and Kurt. All right, Kurt. We don't know if it's constitutional, but I'm wondering if, given where the country is on the border, it might not be a little bit popular.
I mean, I think there's something to be said for, if the federal government isn't doing the job, why shouldn't the state be allowed to do the job? An issue of just state sovereignty, state security. If you have the resources, the means to do that, and the expertise, I don't see why you wouldn't, other than I don't know the constitutional. I mean, that's going to be sorted out in court, obviously, over time here. But this is a failure of the federal government, a failure this is not a partisan issue. Both Republican and Democrat administrations have failed at the border for decades now. And at some point, you cannot blame states for taking matters into their own hands, saying, if you're not going to do the job, I'm going to do it, and you can try to take me to court over it. Good luck.
Americans not happy with border policy. 71% of Americans are not happy. I'd love to meet the other 29%.
They don't live near the border, those 29.
Right. Well, yeah, but now look, there's a lot of people now who are suddenly realizing. We talked about New York, that are suddenly realizing we're a border community too now. Is this problem spread? 57%, Lauren, say they want a wall. Mm-hmm. Does that mean sort of that this is a little bit like the issue of Israel for Democrats, that that a far left part of the party has them hamstrung?
It's one of the issues where Republicans are really dominant on the issue. People see them as more credible to deal with it. And that's been the case, frankly, for many years. And the hypocrisy of the Biden administration is not lost on me. They campaigned on an open border, basically, and have fought tooth and nail in court to keep and expand Trump-era deportation policies. However, I think this very well could backfire. Law enforcement officials are strained. They're under immense public scrutiny. They're not trained to deport people necessarily. And so this might end up being a really tough situation for police officers that are put in a situation where they don't need a lot more stress and a lot more responsibility, and they're severely under-resourced to start with.
Kurt, we've been talking about comprehensive immigration reform since, like, I was in grade school, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
And that doesn't really date me in the way that it should. Help us understand what Democrats are now saying. Is they're looking at this polling data, and yet they know that they are, sort of handcuffed to the far left when it comes to doing anything that even sounds like reasonable enforcement.
Right, because you're caught between the people on the left who say this is about the treatment of human beings, that we should be a country that welcomes any and all who are suffering. And again, there are legitimately people out there who are, of course, suffering who want to come here. I get that. But it's almost like their stance on law enforcement, that it went too far. It went to defund the police. Completely politically unpopular with the majority of the country. Well, here we are now. If you want to have the open border side of it, completely unpopular with the rest of the country.
Yeah, no, it's a great point in terms of having to figure out where exactly that sweet spot is, and solving problems is sometimes far less useful than continuing to have them. Here's Chris. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.